بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وصلي وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. ما بعد. تفسير الصادق عبد الرحمن بن ناصر السعدي، سورة الداريات. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والداريات دروا فالحاملات وقرا فالجاريات يسرا فالمقسمات أمرا إنما توعدون لصادق وإن الدين لواقع. By the winds that scatter the dust, and by the winds that carry the heavily laden clouds, and by the stars that move gently, and by the angels who distribute blessings by Allah's command. Verily that which you are promised true, and verily judgment will surely come to pass. Is an oath from Allah who speaks the truth, swearing by these mighty creations which He has made to be of great benefit and of service to people, to confirm that His promise is true, and that the day of judgment, which is the day of requital and recording of deeds, when inevitably comes to pass and no one can ward it off, as the truthful Almighty has spoken of it, so on and on, to confirm it and establish proof and evidence for it. Why do they disbelieve in it and turn away from striving for it? What is meant by the winds that scatter is winds that scatter the dust when they blow gently, and when they blow strongly and cause disturbance, and by the winds that carry the heavily laden clouds, that is clouds that carry a great deal of water, by means of which Allah brings benefit to the land and the people, and by the stars that move gently, that is the stars that move easily with which the heavens are adorned, and people navigate by means of them in darkness on land and sea, and may benefit from them by noticing signs from Allah in them. And by the angels who distribute blessings by Allah's command, that is the angels who distribute the control matters by Allah's leave. Allah has appointed each of them to control some matter in this world and the hereafter, and none of them goes beyond the limit set for him or falls short. والسماء ذات البروج والسماء ذات الهبك إنكم لفي قول مختلف يؤفك عنه من أفك قتل أين. By the heaven with its tracks, verily you are confused in your beliefs, because of which those who are divided away from the truth are diverted. By the heaven with its tracks, that is the sky with tracks that look like the ripples made on sand or water by the wind. Verily you who reject Muhammad ﷺ are confused in your beliefs, for some of you say that he is a magician, some say that he is a soothsayer, and some say that he is a madman, and various other statements that are indicative of their confusion and doubt, and that what follow is false, because of which those who are diverted away from the truth are diverted. That is, they are diverted from faith and from the evidence and proof of Allah that gives sanity. The difference is in their views indicate that they are flawed and false. By the same token, the fact that the truth brought by Muhammad ﷺ is harmonious, in that some parts of it confirm others, and there are no difference or flaws in it, indicate that it is sound and that it is from Allah. If it had been from anyone other than Allah, they will surely have found therein many contradictions. وترى الخراسون الذين هم في غمرة ساهون يسألون أيان يوم الدين يوم على النار يفتنون ذوقوا فتنكم هذا الذي كنتم به تستعجلون. May those who base their belief on conjecture be doomed. Those who are steeped in ignorance and are heedless, they ask mockingly, when will the day of judgment be? It will be the day when they will be tormented with the fire. It will be said to them, test your torment. This is what you are seeking to hasten. May those who base their beliefs on conjecture be doomed. That is, may Allah destroy those who tell lies against Him, reject His signs, and resort to falsehood in their attempts to refute truth, who say of Allah that which they do not know. Those who are steeped in ignorance, that is, they are immersed in disbelief, ignorance, and misguidance, and are heedless. They ask mockingly, that is, by way of doubt and disbelief, when they will be resurrected, thinking it unlikely. So do not ask about their situation and their bad fate on the day when they will be tormented with the fire. This they will be punished because of what they did of evil, both hidden and visible. And it will be said to them, test your torment. That is the punishment and the fire that are the consequence of your disbelief. This punishment to which you have ultimately come is what you are seeking to hasten. So now enjoy all kinds of punishment, vengeance, chains, fetters, wrath, and doom. إن المتقين في جنات وعيون آخذين ما آتاهم ربهم إنهم كانوا قبل ذلك محسنين كانوا كالليل ما يهجهون وبالأسحار هم يستغفرون وفي أموالهم حق للسائل والمحروم But the righteous will be amidst the gardens and springs, receiving what their Lord will bestow upon them, because before that they had been doers of good. They used to sleep but little at night, and before dawn they will seek forgiveness. And in their world there was a due share for the beggar and the deprived. Here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, mentioning the reward of the righteous and the deeds that brought them to that reward. Very the righteous, that is those who feared Allah and were very pious and obedient, will be amidst gardens containing all kinds of trees and fruit that have equivalent to this world and in this world, and those that have no earthly equivalent, just eyes have never seen the like thereof, ears have never heard of them, and they have never crossed people's minds, and springs that is flowing, springs that irrigate their gardens, and from which people drink, making them flow as they please, receiving what their Lord will bestow upon them. It may be that what is meant is that the Lord has given the people of paradise all that they wish for, all the kinds of delight which they receive with contentment, and which bring them joy and delight, and they do not ask for any alternative or seek any change. All of them will have attained bliss to such a degree that they will not ask for more. Or it may be that this is a description of the righteous in this world. They accept what Allah gives of commands and prohibitions. In other words, they welcome them open-heartedly and submit what Allah commands, complying with it in the most perfect manner, and they respond to His prohibitions by refraining for the sake of Allah in the most perfect manner. For what Allah has given them of commands and prohibitions is the best gift, which deserves to be received with gratitude and submission to Allah. The former meaning is more appropriate to the context, because the following verse gives a description of them and their deeds in this world, as Allah says, because before they attained that bliss, they had been doers of good. This indicates the excellence in worship of the Lord, for they worship Him as if they could see Him, and although they cannot see Him, He sees them, and it includes their kindness towards other people by benefiting them in terms of wealth or knowledge, or using their status to help them, or showing sincerity towards them, or enjoining what is right or forbidding what is wrong, or other ways of showing kindness and doing good. That also includes speaking kindly and gently, and showing kindness to slaves and to animals, whether they are owned by people or not. One of the best kinds of doing good is worshipping the Creator by praying at night, which is indicative of sincerity and of harmony between what is in the heart and the words of one others. Hence Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, they, namely the doers of good, used to sleep but little at night. That is, their sleep at night was little. Most of the night was spent in devotion to their Lord by praying, reading Quran, remembering Allah, calling upon Him, and beseeching Him. And before dawn, that is the time just before dawn, they will seek forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So they will make their prayer last until the time just before the dawn. Then at the end of the night prayers, they will ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness in the manner of a sinner seeking forgiveness for his sin, praying for forgiveness before dawn in an act that has a special virtue and a kind that is not present at other times, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, describing the people of faith and obedience. Those who pray for forgiveness before dawn, and in their world there was a due share, whether obligatory or recommended, for the beggar and the deprived, that is, for the needy who ask of people, and those who do not ask. وفي الأرض آيات للموقنين وفي أنفسكم فلا تبصرون وفي السماء رزقكم وما توعدون ورب السماء والأرض إنه لكم مثل ما أنكم تنطقون. In the other signs for those whose faith is certain, and also in your own selves will you not then see, and in the heaven in your provision all that you are promised by the Lord of heavens and earth. This is certainly true as the fact of your speaking. Here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, calling slaves to drink, and reflected in the earth are signs for those who faith is certain. That includes the earth itself and all that is on it, of a mountain, seas, rivers, trees, and a plant that direct the attention of the one who reflects upon them, and pronounce the significance to the existence of the Creator, the vastness of His power, the comprehensive nature of His generosity, and how His knowledge encompasses all things, both visible and invisible. Likewise, in the individual himself there are lessons and signs of divine wisdom and mercy which indicate that Allah alone is the one, the unique, the eternal, and that no one creates but He. And in the heaven is your provision, that is the origin of your provision in the form of rain and whatever decrees come down from heaven, provision both spiritual and worldly, and all that you are promised of requite in this world and the hereafter, it comes down from Allah like all other decrees. Having pointed out the signs in such a way that the smart person will pay heed. Aina. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala now says that his promise and request are true, and he likens that to the most best thing to us, which is our speech. Hence Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, by the Lord of heavens and earth, that is certainly true as the fact of your speaking. So just as you do not adopt your speech, you should not adopt this direction after it. هل أتاك حديث ضيف إبراهيم المكرمين إذ دخلوا عليه فقالوا سلاما قال سلام قوم منكرون فرغى إلى أهله فجاء بعجل سمين فقرب إليه قال لا تأكلون فوجدوا فقالوا لا تخف وبشروه بغلام أليم فأخبرت امرأته في السرة فذكرت وجهها وهذا جوز أقيم قالوا كذلك قال ربك إنه هو الحكيم العليم. Has there come to you the story of the honored guest of Ibrahim? When they came to him and said, peace, he said, and upon you be peace, you are strangers to me. Then he went quickly with his household and brought a fetid calf. He placed it before him and said, will you not eat? He conceived a fear of them. They said, fear not, and gave him the glad tidings of a son endued with knowledge. His wife cried out loud, struck her face and said, how can that be when I am a barren old woman? They said, thus says your Lord, verily he is most wise, all-knowing. Has there come to you, that is, has there not come to you, the story of the honored guest of Ibrahim? For it is a strange and a wondrous story. There were angels whom Allah sent to destroy the people of Lot, and he commanded them to pass by Ibrahim. So they came to him in the form of human guests. When they came to him and said, peace, he said, in response to their greetings, and upon you be peace. You are strangers to me. That is, you are people unknown, and I want you to tell me who you are. He did not know who they were until after that. Hence he went quickly to his family. In other words, he slipped away discreetly to bring food for them, and brought a fatted calf. He placed it there before them. That is, he presented the food to them and said, will you not eat? He conceived a fear of them. When he saw that their hands did not reach out for the food, they said, fear not. And they told him what they had come for, and gave him the glad tidings of a son endowed with knowledge, namely Ishaq alayhi salam. When his wife heard the glad tidings, she cried out with joy, struck her face, which is something that women do not do when they are happy, and they say and do other things that are contrary to ordinary behavior, and said, how can that be when I am a barren old woman? That is, how can I have a child when I am an old woman who is past the childbearing age, and moreover I am barren, and my womb has never been fit to be a child. So there are two independent impediments, so each of which is on its own is sufficient to prevent me having a child. A third impediment is mentioned in Surah Al-Hud, where she said, and this husband of mine is old man. That will be a strange thing indeed. They said, thus says your Lord, that is, it is Allah who has decreed and ordained that, and there is nothing strange about the might and the power of Allah Azza wa Jal. Verily he is most wise, all-knowing, that is, he does what is appropriate, and encompasses all things by his knowledge. So submit it to his decree, and show gratitude to him for his blessings. Ainam.